Today guys, we're going to do a Samsung A11 screen replacement. Let's go. The phone is a bit warm because we have to heat the back to remove the home button because it's screwed down under a brace that covers the fingerprint sensor, the battery, and also the screen ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and remove these three screws that hold down this brace. So we disconnect the battery and the screen, and we're going to go ahead and remove the loudspeaker because it has the subboard underneath it, and it's also connected to a ribbon that also has a screen that's also connected to the screen. Now we're going to connect the screen and test it before we do a full installation. This is really important. The phone is booted up, so we'll go ahead and test the screen, and it works perfectly. Now we're going to remove the main board so that we can heat the frame to remove the screen and also the battery because the screen ribbon runs underneath the battery. It's impossible to remove the screen without removing the battery. That copper piece is very soft. Try removing it and it just break apart. We're going to heat the screen, and then we're going to remove the screen and the battery in one go. This was my first time disassembling a A11 device. Um, I noticed when removing the screen that the sub ribbon, we have to remove the subboard to take out the screen. Normally with previous version you could remove the screen without removing the subboard, but in this case we have to. You might damage the subboard trying to force the ribbon through. So we're going to go ahead and remove the antenna and then remove the board. Board consists of the charging port, the connection for the loudspeaker, and also the vibrator, the mic, and antennas. So now that the screen is out, we have more work to do. So first, what I normally do is test the frame if the screen sits good in it, and also if this frame is bent, because if the frame is bent it gives a lot of trouble to install the screen perfectly. So now we're all good. Time to do some replacing of parts and also cleaning the frame of dust that might stop the glue from bonding with the surface of the frame. This is the speaker cover piece. I'm transferring it from the old screen to the frame. So here we're going to go and clean the excess debris, old glue, and also dust that might stop the glue from bonding with on the surface and keep hold of the screen. So now we're ready to apply the glue. So applying the glue on in the corners and the rim of the frame. It doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to hold the screen down perfectly. So we'll go ahead and seat the screen in the frame and put some clamps to hold it for about 10 minutes. So it was about 20 minutes and I started to assemble the phone. So I put in the main board. This whole process took about 30 minutes. So how I rate this installation, it's quite easy, but there are a lot of ways you can really damage this phone if you're not patient and pay attention to what is to be done to disassemble and reassemble this phone. I can see amateur, like when I was amateur, I can see many ways how I would damage this phone before completing the repair. But over time, I learned patience and built up a keen attention to details. And that helps me to disassemble a phone that I've never done before. So we'll go ahead and reassemble the device because the screen installation is complete. When I'm finished with my job, I normally do a full test of camera, screen, speakers, fingerprint sensor. These parts are very delicate, so it's a must that you do a full check on the parts so that customer would not have any problem to return, and you will have a lower return rate of customers, and that's really good for business. Most times a non-return customer means good job. So we're going to go ahead and wait until the screen is booted up. I can feel the excess glue on the sides. So now we're going to go ahead and install the back and finish up the installation. You have to be careful in pressing the back on the phone or the frame. If you press too hard, you might damage the screen, and that would be very, very, very sad. At the end of the screen installation, you're damaging the screen that you have just installed, so you have to be careful. So we're cleaning the excess glue off the screen, and this completes our installation of our A11 screen. Thanks much for watching, and goodbye. Please like and subscribe.